Hey, it's Anthony Cesare with SuccessForYourSongs.com, and in this video we're going to be talking about the pre-choruses that you write for your music. Sometimes it could be hard to know whether or not you should be using a pre-chorus and how you should be using pre-chorus for your songs. So in this video, I'm going to be playing a clip for you of an interview I did with Shane Adams of the site ArtistAccelerator.com, who has a lot of great thoughts on this topic. So check it out here. It seems like different people that I've talked to have different opinions about it, like when to use them or like how they function. So that's why I'm curious about like when you use pre-choruses, what their role is.
Yeah, so my opinion is formed from literally analyzing just thousands of songs. Like I'm working on this app, a songwriting app for the iPad, and we've analyzed, my staff, right now, almost 2,000 songs of every genre, every style, and the disclaimer is like these are songs that I love, so I'm not going to necessarily have the same likes as everybody, but I tried to be very broad in my selection. So there's heavy metal in there, there's folk, there's Americana, there's funk, there's rap, there's like it's a nice mishmash, and what I like in a pre-chorus, where pre-choruses really work, are when your verse structure, and by verse structure I mean either the chord progression and especially the melody, when your verse and your chorus are very similar, if not the same, that having a pre-chorus just works phenomenally to make the song feel like it's coming back into the chorus. I find if your verse and your chorus contrast a great deal musically, the pre-chorus really isn't adding anything. People use a pre-chorus to build into the chorus, but oftentimes I see people do their chorus builds just fine going into the chorus, and oftentimes it's not that the pre-chorus is bad. Oftentimes I will take their pre-chorus and I will plug that in as their bridge, and it works phenomenally as a bridge. So again, what I find if my verse and like I did like our little blue thing there, like let's say you have a song that has one chord progression for the entire song, which is really huge right now. That's a big trend in pop music right now, and so oftentimes, again, the melody of your verse and the melody of the chorus is the same. So that's a perfect time to try and add a pre-chorus. Some pitfalls of pre-choruses is you don't want a pre-chorus that sounds too much like its own section. You want the pre-chorus to sound like an extension of the verse, rather than like, here's my verse section, here's another section, and here's my chorus. And usually that's done because it's too long. If you make a pre-chorus the same length as your verse, to me it takes away from both the verse and the chorus, which are your most important sections. Now, even as I say that, I off the top of my head, I can think of like a bunch of examples that have super long pre-choruses that the songs are really awesome. So take that with a grain of salt. Like Def Leppard made a career out of gigantic long pre-choruses, but most people, their pre-choruses are way too long. So for instance, if I have a 4-line verse, I personally will try and make my pre-chorus 3 lines or 2 lines or one line. I try not to usurp the authority of the verse, because I always want the chorus is the king. The chorus is the most important section. The verse is the second most important section, and then the pre-chorus, if it is extending the verse or if it's value addition to the verse, then it's okay. But if it becomes too much of its own thing, if it's showing off too much, usually in length, then I don't think you should use it.
Yeah, and this is why I like to ask about pre-choruses, because there are all these different opinions. Like a lot of people would say if you have a chorus that's maybe very different pitch-wise or something from your verse, you use that pre-chorus to build up. And sort of what you're saying is kind of the opposite. It's like if you have that there, that contrast is already there, so you don't need the pre-chorus. That build already happens. But when you have sections that are the same in a verse and a chorus, then that pre-chorus could become more effective. So it's definitely something worth experimenting with, I think, if you're thinking about using a pre-chorus, because that's a cool way to look at it.
Yeah, and it's, for me, it's all about the chorus. It's all about the setup of the chorus. You know, because you can have a brilliantly written verse and a brilliantly written pre-chorus, but does it take away from the impact of the chorus? And since people tend to view it chronologically, like, okay, I'm building from my verse, then into my pre-chorus, then into the chorus. Like they're thinking more of the relationship of the verse and the pre-chorus, and not really the relationship between that whole section and the chorus. Right. The analogy I always give is the punchline to the joke. You know, your chorus is your punchline, and if you give away that punchline, the joke isn't funny. And so oftentimes people will melodically people use elements melodically, especially in their pre-chorus, that, you know, have this huge build and lift, but you've already used all the notes that you're singing in your chorus. So that when you get to the chorus doesn't sound fresh, the chorus doesn't sound new. The chorus, yes, you've built up, but it's anticlimactic, and you've actually taken away from the chorus. And so I'll tell people what you need to do is, even though that's a beautifully written verse and pre-chorus, you need to dumb it down so that your chorus has impact. You know, that it's the chorus that you want to be the grand finale. You know how you go to a fireworks show and it's beautiful, raucous, but like what does everybody love? The grand finale. Right. You know, where everything goes on. You know, and it's not just the spectacle. It's like the grand spectacle. You don't put the grand finale halfway through the song. You know, you don't want the pre-chorus to be your grand finale. You want and so you have to use less fireworks in your pre-chorus, so that your chorus really stands out. Anything you want to plug, your website or anything like that before we sign off here? Yeah. Check out artistaccelerator.com. I'm happy to do coaching for song coaching. You can contact me through Artist Accelerator. Happy to help you with your songs. And when I do song coaching, I do not take writing credit. All right, so I hope that information helps. If you're looking for ways to improve your songwriting, you can download our free cheat sheet. So just click right on the screen for that. Also, if you haven't yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, in order to get updated on all of our latest songwriting videos, you can tap this button on the screen here. And it'll also have links for that stuff below this video. So thanks again for checking this out. I'll talk to you in the next one. Take care.